Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Horror Room. I'm Travis Bruce, and today we're doing another indie horror spotlight with a returning guest. Listen, he's a filmmaker, won Most Disturbing Picture and Best Director Horror Room Award last year for his movie Darius, and he has a new short film out that I've had a pleasure to see and review, and it's called Corporate Torment. I have with us the legend, Guerrilla Metropolitana. Guerrilla, welcome back to the Horror Realm, man.
Hi, Travis. Hello, hi. Nice to be here, and thank you for having me here on your program.
It's a pleasure, brother. So tell everybody who hasn't had a chance to see it, tell them a little bit about Corporate Torment.
Corporate Torment is fundamentally a portrayal of social injustice, where the underdog is completely defenseless and is facing this woman, this powerful woman, this manager, HR, human resources manager, who's using her career, her position of power, truly to squash, destroy other people. And it's the story of how this little man, played by myself, ironically, is capable of retaliating using the only thing he has, which is his baby son, as a tool for vengeance, which is represented in the short film under the form of sodomy, deep anal rape, endless anal rape, an act which also represents a place of reflection, because where the anal rape starts, that's where the power of this woman ends, and the new power represented by the former oppressed underdog and his baby son, the new power begins. So the sodomy aspect of it is very symbolic, because it's almost like a red mark which ends the end of a former power and the beginning of a new power. But there is no justice whatsoever, as in real justice, but just retaliation. So basically we're talking about a shift of power, but there's no goodness. And that's something that I did tell, as a matter of fact, yesterday to Del Gibson, which, as you know, she's preparing a book on my cinema, yes. Searching for the perfect.
We'll talk about that soon. Yes.
I say to her, once again, as in any other thing I've done prior to this short film, including my feature film Darius, there's no heroes. There's only villains and victims. And in Corporate Torment, there are no heroes, because the underdog, Rudolph, becomes even worse than Hilary Rice, played amazingly by my new actress, Juicy X, which you interviewed. And as you can see, she's very serious, she's very English, she's very professional, and she's so fucking brave, because not many actresses will have played that role, and not many actresses would have played that role so well. She gave me her body, her talent, her quality as an actress. She had no problem in getting undressed, on a film set. I have a massive crush on her. Physically, I told Juicy many times, you give me a real hard on when I look at you, because you are to me abundance. Big breasts, big curves, and I am a sexual animal. So when it comes down to women, I am after physical abundance. No slim actress will ever work for me. There have been some female candidates, including supermodels in the past. And I very kindly told them, no, you have no breasts. You're not giving me any hard on. I'm sorry. You're not selected. And my cock is the judge of the casting process. If my cock gets hard, the actress is most likely chosen. Obviously, it's not just down to my cock. It's also down to if we work well together. With Juicy, I immediately found my ecstasy. She is a very down-to-earth actress. She's not emotional, as you can tell. She's not over dramatic. She's very down to business kind of person. She said, okay, do you want to do it? Let's do it. I respect her. She respects me. She knows my vision. I know what she can deliver. And she did an amazing job. And there was no way I could have done this short film with another actress. Juicy X was what I thought, what I had in mind, because when it comes down to anal sex with women, it's imperative that the woman has a very abundant body. Mm-hmm. There was no way I was going to cast for the role a slim actress, because if you sodomize a slim actress, you're going to crack her open in two.
It doesn't sound like fun.
No, not to me. Like I say, I'm a sexual animal, Travis. When it comes down, I'm a sexual animal, so guys are different, but women, they have to endure physically the penetration, even if it's just in terms of narration. And to be credible, an abundant actress with a powerful performance like Juicy is far more credible for a role like that. She's so nasty. The woman you like to hate. The woman you love to hate. She's just fucking perfect. And as you know, Corporate Torment is now currently on an international festival run.
Yes,
it has been, thank you, it has been rejected already by one festival because they don't accept pornography.
So, Guerrilla, you know what I'm about to do right now? I'm going to make you uncomfortable. I'm going to do my best to make you uncomfortable, which this is going to be a hard fucking task, okay? All right. So, when it comes to Corporate Torment, you were talking about anal raping on a woman. Now, I can understand anal raping on a man, but why did you? What is the symbolic of anal raping on a woman compared to vaginally raping?
I've always been fascinated by anal sex, and but the dynamics of anal sex when it comes down to women. It becomes, ironically, at least in my view, more animalistic. Almost as if you are riding a horse. And therefore, I wanted to symbolize the animalistic side of it in that particular scene. And I wanted to emphasize the fact that a baby, an infant, even though it's only few months old, can be sexually deeply aroused by this wonderful human temple called the anus. And he might as well get and become a man in terms of urges, even though he's trapped in a baby's body. And but his penis can perfectly function and penetrate this temple of discovery, which obviously for the woman in the story, Hilary Rice, is obviously a torment, as the short film says, corporate torment. But it's not about her. It's about his pleasure, and through his pleasure, his father finds retaliation and a way to shift power and become from the former oppressed to the new oppressor. And the anus is the perfect place to start.
Now you brought up too that your cock gets hard when it comes to Juicy J and the right actor or actress. Now, when it comes to Guerrilla, when my cock gets hard, the first thing I want to do is release that motherfucker. Is that something that you do on set?
I don't need to touch myself to come. I came on set when I was filming Darius a few times, and I didn't even tell the actress. I came on set when I was filming the other actress in my early short films, and but not because I touch myself. I don't go like, sorry, I have a job to do. I don't do that. No. I just carry on filming. I just keep on filming. I just keep on filming, and this is what I'm talking about. When I am on the set, Travis, I guess you can call it a transformation. All the vibration in my body, which includes my cock, obviously, go to a certain level of intensity that does not require any touch, any human touch, any human contact whatsoever, because the vibration is so high, so strong, that you are mentally already in that place. So the body is just responding to that, if that makes sense. And when I was filming Juicy X, I did come twice, actually. I did come twice. It was beautiful. Yeah, in my pants. It was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful. And and again, I don't interrupt filming saying, sorry, I just came in my pants. I don't do that. I just keep on filming. Yeah. I just keep on filming, and I just keep on filming, and it's the video deciding. What? Sorry?
But how? Because when I come, right, it weakens me. You know what I mean? Like for all the ladies who are watching. But when a man orgasm you get like it weakens you. It's like every fucking protein and fucking mineral in your body is being released at that
Yes,
point.
You're right. Yes, but that happens in normal circumstances.
Mm-hmm.
Not when I'm filming. When I'm filming, I am, like I said, the adrenaline is so strong that I could potentially be able to throw a fist on the wall and probably smash the wall. It's like being under amphetamines. It's like
Wow.
being on drugs. It's that kind of adrenaline, that kind of vibe. So when I do come in those circumstances, I'm referring to filming, is actually the opposite reaction. I feel even more energized and ready to go and possibly come again, as it did happen.
So it sounds like you almost have what a female orgasm, because I hear when I talk to women, it seems like orgasms energize them. God knows it does because they want to chat afterwards. But but it's like gives them the opposite feeling than men do. Like so, it's almost like you almost experience like a orgasm, almost like how a woman has, where it energizes you, it gives you life, it gives you that energy.
I guess you can say that. I'm not a doctor, so I don't really
Yeah.
know. But in those circumstances, I feel like the Incredible Hulk. Now, it is also true that once I finish filming, and even more when I finish editing, my level of energy is practically zero, and my cock is this small,
Yeah.
because everything is being sucked away, and it takes a while for me to recuperate and recharge myself, mentally, psychologically, physically, everything. And the level of intensity I put every time I work, when I film, yes, but even more when I am involved in the editing process, is something that very few filmmakers, I believe, can truly understand. Because don't forget, Travis, in my cinema, I am everything: director, actor, editor. Even though I have Archibald Kane as a technical assistant to do the material operation under my instruction, if that makes sense. But it's still my editing. It's still me giving him instructions. Special effects, again, that's me. Music, it's partially me. So I'm talking about there's a whole level of involvement, and that's not because I cannot find people to help me. It's because I cannot explain to other people the orchestra of cinema I have in my head, because I know where everything goes, where everything should go. I know every single piece of music, every single piece of alteration in terms of editing, everything in terms of camera shot, how I want the camera shot to be modified through editing. It's like having a team of 15, 20 people in your head. So that's why I can't work in a normal way with assistants and camera operators, because I, I don't need them, because I'm doing their job already, but
Yeah.
in stages. And but obviously, when I finish working on a project, I am totally shattered, exhausted, because I've been squeezing my brain and my whole being to a point where there's just nothing left to squeeze, and the result can be seen in my short film or film. Anything I do. Corporate torment, the level of care and attention to detail, it's something that not that many filmmakers actually give when they work on something. Every shot, every frame, every clip, every second is carefully crafted. every millisecond is carefully crafted. Every subliminal messages are carefully crafted and put it at the right length of time, in the right spot, at the right time. And many of them are not meant to be seen. There are many subliminal messages in corporate torment which I want the audience to barely see. But there are at least 7 or 8 subliminal messages that nobody ever noticed, but the brain does.
Mm-hmm.
You might want to ask, but what's the fucking point in doing that? Because I don't make films or short films, as in this case, for an audience who is hungry of traditional methods of communication. But I'm looking to communicate to those brains who are more subject to receive this information, even though indirectly, you know. So it's about brain response. So yeah, it's about brain response. It's not directly addressed to the eyes and the ears, but it's directly addressed to the brain, how the brain responds to those sonic and visual information.
Now, one of the things I do want to bring up, since I think with the interview with Dale Gibson, by the way, if you want to watch it, please watch it. It's up on the link is on the video as well.
I adore Dale. I adore him.
Listen, Dale got a lot of shit, and I got a lot of fucking shit too. Some nasty fucking videos and messages about you as a filmmaker, and about how disgusting you are and disturbing you are, and you know your talent is. How do you feel?
They can suck my.
How do you feel when you hear this? And the crazy part about it is, I always would think that it would be women film directors that would be talking this way. No, it's white American men filmmakers. They have a huge fucking problem with you.
Yeah, I mean, I've been told by a number of women, 2 in particular, that the reason for that is very likely jealousy. Because very likely they can't have what I have with actresses to start. Secondly, they can't have, or they don't have the balls to do what they truly want. And thirdly, they just don't have the originality, I guess, to really stick out from the crowd with original material. I can have an actress naked in front of me with legs open, and she will allow me to film her with no problem. Probably some of these directors, they are jealous because they are trapped into procedures and protocol. I guess probably they are jealous, or maybe they are just hatred. The point is, one has to make a difference between the person and his work. I can say to you, Travis, just as an example, I don't particularly like you, Travis, but which is not the case. I do like you. Yep. But I can say, I don't particularly like you, but I think your podcast, I gotta admit, is really good.
Exactly.
You see what I'm coming from? You should always separate the person, the filmmaker in this case, from his work. I mean, you might not like him for whatever reason. That's okay. I don't give a flying fuck if they like me or not. Even if they like me, I don't give a fuck, Travis. That's the point. But nobody of these fuckers can say is not original or is that or whatever, because the fact of the matter is no filmmaker on earth can do what I do, not because I am better or worse, but because they can only come from me.
But do you feel like men are neutered now? I mean, listen, I watch. You know me, I'm unapologetic. So whatever I fucking say, I don't give a fuck what anybody thinks.
Yeah.
But I have noticed in society, men are absolutely fucking neutered. And men are unwilling to admit that because they're afraid.
Men are wimps. Men are wimps. And most men are wimps because these fuckers that are haters, like I said, they're probably jealous because I can fuck.
But do you think it's the PC culture? I mean, do you think that men have become
maybe part of it, yes, but I think deep inside is jealousy. I mean, don't forget, men with small cocks tend to be jealous. Men who don't have much luck with women, even professionally or non-professionally, they tend to be jealous. Like I said, I can have any of my actresses lying down in bed naked and I can film on top of them and there will be no problem. They are just jealous fucks and I don't give a flying shit what they think, Travis. They can go and kiss my Italian ass.
Because I was just curious, like, where the fuck was all this hate coming from? You know, I sent you a couple of videos and shit. I was like, where the fuck all this hate coming from? And then I was like, because I've always been expecting that hate from feminist women when it came to your films. But no, they have no problem with you at all.
Most of my fans are women.
Yes,
most of my fans are women. Even yesterday, there was another woman, early 20s, from your country, America, out of the blue. She messaged me on Messenger and she started chatting to me and she said, I just bumped into your work and I think your work is fucking amazing. And I do love the way you portray women. And she's not the only one. I mean, there's many, many women over the period of time that have done that. Men too, but mostly women. Most of my fan base is women. It took me a while to realize that. I didn't even know that myself until last year. When I realized, hang on a minute, most of the people who get in touch with me, 7 out of 10 are women. And men, they tend to be, not all of them, but a good part of them, they tend to be more simplistic because don't forget, Trace, we men are different from women. We are, we just want to stick our fucking cock and have a good time. Women are much more sophisticated. They can see a lot more. Obviously, there are imbeciles even amongst women. Don't worry about that. But them, I just trash them anyway. I am what you might call probably an intellectually racist filmmaker. I don't like stupid people. Imbeciles, idiots. I tend to trash them. I have no mercy for them. I mean, unfortunately or fortunately, we live in a democracy. If I was an emperor, I would probably eliminate them because and my cinema, it's not for the masses. It's not for those ones who masturbate when watching The Terrifier or The Human Centipede. Or, I mean, these can be films that I don't mind myself. I don't mind watching them, but I don't mind watching also some of the crap that you might see around. But I do admit that is crap. To me, cinema is should be an art form. And an art form whether you like it or not, you should be able to understand when you're dealing with some kind of an art form or not. I give you an example. There are so many films or even books. Shakespeare is a good example. Who doesn't know Shakespeare? William Shakespeare, Romeo and Juliet, or Hamlet, or whatever. These are wonderful books. There's an art form in there, absolutely. Do I like it? Not really. No. I find it pretty fucking boring. But I do admit that there is an actual art form there. You see what I'm coming from? I mean, you can still recognize, regardless of your taste, whether or not that particular film or whatever else does have an element of an art form.
I agree.
And if you don't, it means you can't tell the difference between a thumb and a dick.
I agree.
And if you can't do that, then you're hopeless. I don't make short films or film. I didn't make Darius or Corporate Torment for an audience of morons or feminists who think that women who are sexualized are disrespected. No, because in cinema, in my cinema, everybody is sexualized, man too. Why do I do that? Because I'm a sick bastard? No, because evidently I feel the need to explore that territory as a filmmaker using sexuality as a metaphor. And there's nothing wrong with that. If you have a problem with hardcore sexuality, don't watch it.
But listen, as you know, I'm a horror connoisseur. I probably know more about horror than most filmmakers do. I'm a huge horror connoisseur. But this is why I have this channel. But I say all the time, which I don't think a lot of people know, or a lot of filmmakers don't know, the horror population, which are horror fans, right? 70% of horror fans are casual horror fans. Casuals. The hardcore only makes up a small percentage, which is that 30%, who would watch something like yours. But that other 70%, they're gonna watch the Halloweens. And listen, I love the Halloweens. The hardcore fans, we love the Halloweens and shit like that too. But when it comes to actual good horror cinema, it's not for the majority. It's for that 30%.
You see, Travis, I mean, it's ironic. Well, first of all, I'm not a horror filmmaker. My cinema contains horror. It's horrific.
It is horrific. I'm telling you now, Corporate Torment, as I said in my fucking review, it had my stomach churning. Like, it made my stomach upset.
Yeah.
And I've watched numerous horror movies and I've never had that feeling before. Where no, your movies are horror because it's that psychological. It's how can I explain it? I would classify your movie as like a fucking virtual reality fucking horror because it's hitting more senses than just one. You know what I mean? Like the fucking disturbing fucking sounds that you hear those things are more disturbing than what you see on camera a lot of times. The noises, the pig noises, the shit like that. Majority of the time is more disturbing than the shit that you see on the fucking screen. But then the shit on the screen is absolutely fucking disturbing. That final fucking kill in the fucking or that scene in fucking Corporate Torment. I mean, I've never seen something like that before in my whole fucking life. But like you said, I don't think most filmmakers would have the balls enough to film a scene like that because that was pretty fucking extreme, Guerrilla.
Yes, I mean, again, I mean, that is what what I was saying when I was talking about craft. All those little sounds in the sodomy scene that are probably, I cannot quantify, probably around 60 or 70 different sounds in that section. Some of them you can hear very well, others they are modified and kept on a lower level, and others the ear cannot really hear it, but he associates the image that the viewer is watching, and then suddenly that hidden sound comes back up.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if this makes any sense at all, but it's that level of meticulous research which I put onto the work during the editing stage, because I want the audience to feel that particular scene. Now that we're talking about that scene, I want the audience to feel exactly how the baby boy, the infant, is feeling. And I also want to make sure that they know how she feels. And on top of that, the overall situation of madness and perversion and bodily fluids and penetration and that noise,
That the noise.
The whole experience. It's about experience, Travis. It's not about just watching a film.
Yes.
And it's about experiencing the film, and that is actually not even from me. These are words that are from, again, a woman who wrote to me. She was referring to Darius, but she said, Guerrilla, Darius is a film I experienced more than watching it as if I would watch a normal film. I experienced Darius. So that is what I'm talking about, the craft I'm referring to. So to be quite frank with you, Travis, to hear some guys calling me names, to me they're nothing but insects. They are just fuckers anyway. They are just jealous fuckers. I don't give a fuck about what they think. All I care is my cinema. And I don't look at anyone. I go like a train. I want to make a film, and I'm going to do it the way I want. I want to make a short film. I'm going to do it the way I want. Will someone be offended? That's their fucking problem. Don't watch it. I'm not here to offend anybody, but I'm not here to please anybody either. I never became a filmmaker, Travis, to please people. I think Steven Spielberg is doing that already. The world does not need. I mean, Steven Spielberg is one of the greatest in the world, but is a people pleaser. I'm not one of them. I'm here to shit on the table when everyone is having dinner.
And corporate torment is definitely you shitting on the table.
Yeah,
one of the other things. I want to give you a credit too. One of the things I want to bring up about corporate torment too. You are not afraid to show your cock off in a movie.
I got a big cock. Why should you be afraid?
I mean, listen. I'm what they call a grower, not a shower. You know what I mean? But when it grows, it's dangerous, right?
Yeah.
But I will still not show my cock on camera. What is that like? Is that freeing? What makes you decide?
Some of those pictures.
You know what? I'm going to show my cock.
Some of those pictures were taken on the request of some male fans. Guys.
Really?
Yes.
So if a male fan messages you like, "Hey, Guerrilla,"
not anyone. People that were originally chosen to be actors for potential projects, short films, which as a result of Darius, never materialized. But with some of them, I became quite intimate with them online, and they say, just show me what you look like, and I say, okay. I mean, and I've done a series of erotic pictures for them, and I don't have any problem. So, and again, that's a sense of freedom. And I had those pictures taken, and I decided to put them in Corporate Torment. That particular section you're referring to in Corporate Torment, which is the beginning of Corporate Torment, in fact, that is not even addressed to women. That is addressed to a male audience. Let me be more clear, so there's no misunderstanding. Is to basically sexually provoke a male audience and see who's going to be responding in one way or another. Does that make sense?
Because it was flashing in the beginning, and I was like, what does this have to do with the fucking movie? Listen, please watch Corporate Torment. So listen, I have a question for you. So
you see,
as a filmmaker...
I stop you one second. I stop you right there.
Uh-huh.
You see, just like in Darius, the logic of my cinema is irrational.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, you make out your own interpretation.
Yes.
And there's no A, B, C. 2 plus 2 equals 4. In my cinema, 2 plus 2 equals 5.5. Because if you try to work it out, I mean, for fuck's sake, you're not watching Halloween here. I mean, no offense to Carpenter, but this is not a guy with a mask chasing people around with a knife and that's it. This is something different. I'm not saying better or worse, just different. And I present you with a number of sequences. And somehow, those sequences, they do kind of work together. But they don't make much sense if you try to give them a sense.
Because I was talking to Dell during our interview, and I said, when you first sent me the movie and I watched it, and there was a proper English woman talking, and there's dialogue on it, and she's like, hello, I was like, oh my goodness, this seems like I use the word a normal movie, right? I was like, oh wow, okay, this is interesting. And it goes straight into cock and asshole, like boom, boom, boom. And I was like, whoa, okay. And then it just when you think that you know what you're dealing with, boom, it's something completely different.
Yeah.
So you can never really get comfortable with watching one of your movies, because as soon as you get relaxed, boom, something else fucking hits you.
I'm not here.
Whoa, where the fuck did that come from?
I'm not here to make anyone feel comfortable. As I say, Corporate Torment, it's about power. And how can you tell a story of power, which is in itself a very ugly subject, in a nice way? I guess you can, but it's not my natural way. My natural way is to portray power in a brutal way. And that's how I do it. Maybe somebody else, another filmmaker, will do it differently. But that's the way I do it. And that voice that you heard is from a dear friend of mine. And she is absolutely perfect in the short film, because she gives a tone of normality. Mm-hmm. And then after she spoke, then you see the rest of the short film. But you see the dynamics of the main character, the woman, Hilary Rice, played by Juicy X. If you watch her very carefully, you can see moments, 1 or 2 moments, where she does show a very bare minimum of humanity. When she's listening, in the office to Rudolph, the man who's going to be fired, and then later on, when she's going to, she's assisting him with his bags. She's helping him. So she does have, like every one of us, the ability to be kind, but she ultimately chooses, she goes for power, and power attracts nothing but hatred, and that's what the short film is about. Like I said, it might offend some radical feminists. Most women are not radical feminists. Most horror fans will look at this thing like, what the fuck is this? Like I say, I don't make films or short films for the traditional horror fan or audience. I make short films or films for people who are loose dogs, people who do not belong to any genre, people who might appreciate and love some kind of horror, but they don't belong to any label. People that can watch David Cronenberg films, for example, and at the same time they can watch some extreme SM bondage porno film, or some dramatic film, and perhaps some extreme or artsy horror film too. But my audience is made by people who are fundamentally loose dogs. They don't call themselves horror fans. They might like some horror film. I know that from experience, because with many of people who, many of the people who like my work, I do talk to them, and many of them are not even what you would probably call horror fans. They might like some horror, but they don't they don't see themselves as horror fans. They don't go around with Freddy Krueger or Leatherface icons or whatever. They don't. They just don't do that. They might watch some horror stuff, but overall they are literally loose dogs. And those are the people who, for the most part, are into my cinema, my work. People who kind of jerk off with the Human Centipede or crap like that, they normally don't even understand what I'm doing here. And like I said, my call to them is don't even fucking bother watching any of my work, because this was not intended for mediocre minds like yours. So, I don't want my cinema to be watched by just anybody. Like I say, I'm very jealous about my work. I don't take myself too seriously, but I do take my work very seriously. And it's like having a model here on my bed, and if I want to have an orgy, I'm just giving you an example. I'm not gonna just invite any sucker from the street. I'm gonna invite a woman or a man, someone that I feel is the right person, because we're gonna share a beautiful body together and a beautiful moment of sex, and tenderness and so on. You don't want to share a beautiful thing like in this particular case a human body with just any fucking dickhead. You want to share it with a man or a woman who is very special, and the same attitude I do have when it comes down to my cinema. I don't want to share my cinema with mediocre minds. I hate mediocre minds, Travis. I fucking hate them. If it was for me, I will get rid of them. Honestly, I fucking hate them. My cinema is addressed and I repeat this once again, for those sophisticated minds who are not afraid to explore different territories. They don't have to stay in that place. They don't have to plant roots in them, but they have to be open-minded enough to say, okay, let's go there. Let's see what happens. Does that make
Your
sense?
movies, yes, and I've said it many times. Your movies are a experience.
Yeah.
It might not be an experience that you want to relive over and over again, but it's an experience that you got to try at least one time. You got to at least try it one time, maybe two, and because it will take you into a realm that you've probably never been to before, and you feel a little bit dirty, and you actually might like a little bit what you see, and you might feel a little fucking confused at the same time.
We are dirty creatures.
Yes.
We are. And those who say we aren't are hypocrites.
Yes.
How come most of my fan base are women? Because women themselves told me we are the dirtiest ones of all. We just hide it better. And is that a sexist remark? No, it's not. If you want to make it sexist, again, that's your fucking problem. That's not mine. I don't give a flying fuck about what people think.
Now, okay, two questions I'm gonna hit you with and wrap things up. So, all right, when it comes to in the film industry, they said it's a huge no to become intimate with as a filmmaker with your actors or actresses. Is that something that you do that you don't give a fuck about, or do you feel like that's important to do?
To do what in specifically?
Okay, let's fuck an actor or actress.
If it is required, again, I don't have the answer for that. I can only speak for myself.
For yourself.
I did write 30, 40 short films, which gradually I'm gonna send, not all of them, but some of them I'm gonna send them to Del Gibson for a book, and they will be listed in the book on a section called unreleased projects. I wrote many short films which will never be released, not because I don't have the courage to do them or anything like that, but because I made my decision to quit after my next film, which is The Benefactress. A couple of short films I wrote. One of them is called Glory Hole, A Place for Man. And that's where I found some of the guys in their 20s on social media, good-looking guys who were going to be my actors, and they were, they developed some kind of friendship online with me, and that's why I took the pictures I was referring about, the corporate torment ones, and obviously over a period of time with two of them in particular. They were English, both of them English guys, like I say, early 20s, 24 years old, yeah. And I asked them, look, would you have problems in having real sexual intercourse with me and giving me oral? And I can give you oral too. They say no. Both of them, they say, yeah, let's do it, man. Let's do it. And both of them have girlfriends. And so the idea was to do the short film. Like I say, this was last year, actually. But Darius took a lot of toll on me. 3 mental breakdowns. So I just could not function, really. But there was one point where I thought I could do them and do Darius at the same time. Obviously, I was wrong, but And in this short film, the whole short film was basically an old basement which I found, a very rundown place in a very old derelict of a former train station of some sort, and with old toilets, very creepy place, and I did find glory holes on the wall, which are holes on the wall where homosexuals, they stick their penis, and on the other side of the wall someone is sucking them off or whatever. So I found this place by accident, actually, and I thought, this is fucking brilliant. And I thought, I can just place my camera there and create a short film of the director himself, Guerrilla Metropolitana, me, as you see, walking in, getting undressed, putting his cock ring on, leaving his combat boots on, and sticking his penis there, and see which one of these guys will come first. And that was going to be the short film. One static shot, no camera shots as in moving shots, just one constant static shot, 15 minutes like that. And you might want to ask, what kind of story is that? Exactly. Yeah. What kind of story is that? The story is, I want to take the audience into this weird place and see what's happening there at night. So I guess you can call it's like having a CCTV in some place.
Yeah.
As monitoring, the location.
Now, I'm pretty sure there'll be other men there as well. Were you worried about getting them on camera too, or didn't even think about that? I said, I'm pretty sure if you were going to this glory hole, that other men would show up too for the other holes. Were you worried about getting them on camera too, or were you like, fuck it?
No, what about anything?
Okay.
I'm not worried about anything. I mean, the only thing I'm worried about is HIV.
Yeah.
And that's the only precaution I will use. Other than that, no. And like I said, these two male candidates with no acting experience, they were just gorgeous. With both of them, we have even at times on a WhatsApp group chat. So we will see each other, explore one another, and it was beautiful. And they both agreed, yeah, we can do it. Yeah, I mean, they both like me. I like them both, and I say, I suck you, you suck me, you fuck me, I fuck you, and we're gonna make this short film. They didn't even want to be paid, but that goes against my rule. I say, no, I'm gonna fucking pay you because it's against my policy. I always pay. But to me, it was about creating the momentum and film it, immortalize it, and see the level of perversion and darkness that was going on in this place at night, with people who don't even know each other's names, but they know each other's cock. Is that horror? No, but it can be horrific in other ways.
It can be, yeah, it can be.
So, yes, to answer your question, sexuality can be involved. It's not always involved, but it can be involved in my cinema. Obviously, I'm not a kind of Harvey Weinstein kind of guy. I'm not a predator. No, not at all. Not at all. Especially with women. No. It's always mutual. Juicy X spoke to you. She's a woman, and she's, trust me, you don't want to fuck around with her. Trust me. Mm-hmm. If there was any issue, first of all, she would not be working with me. And secondly, she would have told you. When you asked her, how is it working with Guerrilla? She said, absolutely fine. So it's always mutual. But in the case of some male candidates I'm referring to now, which again didn't come to fruition because Darius took a major toll on me. But for months we were discussing this, yes, and there was another candidate for another short film. Again, a guy was willing to have and receive and give both full sexual intercourse with me. 26 years old guy. So I don't have any problem because to me cinema is everything. My cinema requires, if my cinema requires me walking on the edge of the building, for real, I'm not gonna call a stuntman. I'm gonna have one of my actors doing it. And if he refuses to do it, it means she or he is not my ideal actor, and therefore is fired. Nobody is forced to do anything, but I am, as he or she is free to say no, which is absolutely right, I'm also free to fire that person from the set. Nobody is forcing nobody. But realism often is required. Not all the time, but in my next film, The Benefactress, a lot of the things that will go on will be real.
Wow. By the way, was that your dick at the end?
Yeah. Corporate torment?
Yeah, corporate torment?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So one last thing I want to bring up. So Dale Gibson, by the way, check out the interview. Had her on the show, and she was talking about her biography. And one of the questions, and by the way, she's writing your biography, which is called "Searching for a Perfect Butterfly." And I asked her, I said, "What does that mean?" And she told me that you want to search for the perfect woman's vagina. And I had a chance to see the picture of it, and I've never seen a pussy like that before in my life, Guerrilla. What made that vagina perfect to you?
I've been looking for the perfect vagina for a long time. And to me, that's what makes me come the most. And I had close to 130, 140 female candidates showing me their vaginas. They were all candidates for other short films, actually, but none of them had the shape I was looking for. And when I found this actress, which I cannot name for obvious reasons, she had a lot of pubic hair, but I spotted the shape, and I said to her, could you please shave it for me and show me what you look like? And within a day, I think, she did. And I started coming. I came 2 or 3 times, just boom, 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 boom. And I say, you're gonna keep it shaved for me now, honey, right? She said, okay. And she was chosen for the film. She is actually one of the actresses for my next film, The Benefactress. Mystery Woman. That's the alias I gave her. She's an artist. Nobody knows her real identity. Not even Dal Gibson. She's an active artist in Europe, including Britain. She's a lot older than me, a lot older, and nobody will ever know her identity. But she will be in the film, and she has the gold between her legs, and she keeps it shaved for me. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like a butterfly, and it perfectly looks like a butterfly.
Yeah.
I've never seen a vagina
Yeah.
that looked like it before, so it was pretty. Yes. All right, Gorilla. Where can everyone find you, my friend?
Oh. Anywhere. I mean, Facebook, Instagram, Google. I mean, just if you Google Guerrilla Metropolitana, it's the best way to go. Just go on Google Guerrilla Metropolitana. You will find me in many different places. And at the moment, my short film Corporate Torment is on a festival run, and it will be until November. And then on December, it will be available on YouTube, and that will be my final minor work, as in short film. After that, I will return with my second feature film called The Benefactress, which will not go on YouTube. That would be for DVD and Blu-ray distribution, just like Darius. And that would be my second and final feature film. And after that, I fuck off. I will retire. I will retire and probably, after a long break, probably dedicate my time to photography or painting, explore different art forms. And Del Gibson will do the rest with my whatever legacy there will be of me with that book, Searching for the Perfect Butterfly, which again, Del Gibson is a fantastic writer. She took a chance by writing this book. She will be surrounded by a bit of controversy because the book will contain very controversial material, both in terms of writing material as well as photographic material of myself, some of my actresses, including Mystery Woman. This is not for shock value or anything, but is to take the reader into my world of cinema. Simple, it's just to take the reader into a different place and see what it's like, basically, to experience the cinema I've been trying to create over the last 3 years. And so that's the plan.
Well, I can't wait. Listen, everybody, go and grab your copy of Darius on DVD and Blu-ray. Look out in December for Corporate Torment, and look out for next year sometime. Or my final interview with Guerrilla Metropolitana as we talk about The Benefactress. Guerrilla, it's always a pleasure having you on, brother.
Thank you so much, Travis. All the best.
Most definitely. Everyone, thank you for coming to the Horror Realm. I'm Travis Bruce, and that's Guerrilla Metropolitana. We'll see you next time. Take care.